Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. And let's meet an indie agency. We go down to one of my favorite cities, not just in the United States, nay, the world, San Diego. I mean,
well, one could call it the finest.
I mean, Ron Burgundy did. So, and it's funny. So I'm up in Portland. And so we've talked about Portlandia. And I was talking to somebody about this. I said, they said, well, Ron Burgundy made fun of San Diego. I said, yeah, but you know what? It was the characters that were making fun of San Diego, whereas Portland was being made fun of, and it was the characters that were around it. So there was a slight difference. And so
that's true. You know what? If you're saying that Ron Burgundy put San Diego on the map, I'm open to that. I'm open to that the mindset.
Well, and up here, it's like, Portlandia did such damage to it. It's like, yeah, I can see that, but it's just, first of all, number one, have a sense of humor. But I do think it's different. I mean, the character was Portland, and for Anchorman, it was the characters. San Diego almost became secondary, which was interesting. But that's not what this show is for. We're going to talk about the best tacos in San Diego. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but first we're going to talk about Raindrop.
All right.
So
I have recommendations for all.
So I know. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to get a little bit of a thumbnail sketch, the background of the agency and how it all got started.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the best way to start the story would be that Raindrop is 15 years into its journey. And in some ways, I feel like we're just getting started. And I say that because I'm speaking with you right now, Doug, right?
Right.
We are continuing to grow in the ways that, we've been doing great work, and we're excited about that. I mean, 15 years, how do you summarize that? We've always been in we started with just me. Yeah, I started the business myself at 25.
Wow.
Yeah, so 15 years later, we have a really incredible team, a motley crew of people. Just north of probably 85 or so team members, mainly based in San Diego, but we have a lot of people that are remote as well. We have a large studio facility here, so that makes some of the roles kind of have to be here, and we can get into that. Right. But overall, we are a creative agency, and we do things differently. And I'm not just saying that. I think all of our CDs and ACDs don't come from, big agency background. And so that gives us a really unique lens on what we're doing.
Right.
I don't know if I did a good job of telling you my story, because that didn't feel right.
The background is the background, because now we're starting to get into more of the meat of this thing. So
yeah.
Agencies a lot of times may be known for things. The other thing too is that agencies have a list of things that they're very good at, but 3 usually rise to the top. That's a good number to work with. So what would you say the agency is best known for, and what would you say are your top 3 core strengths and solutions for marketers and brands?
Okay. You know what? I'm going to retell our story, but through this lens, because it will make more sense.
Oh, okay.
Our story was that for the first 6-7 years, we were a brand forward agency doing brand development work, but mainly in San Diego and like Southern California region, right? And we were fortunate to link up with a brand called Dr. Squatch. It's a men's soap company at the time, doing $3 million a year in sales. And this is back in like 2016, 2017. And we started making ads for them that transformed not only the brand, but also the brand voice and sales. They grew by hundreds of millions of dollars. We ended up making a Super Bowl commercial for them in 2020. And that did help put us on the map. And it gave us opportunities. Then we got linked up with Native, helped them grow by hundreds of millions. We've been able to then start incubating brands. So we incubated brands like Groons, which is now in Target and Walmart world countrywide, not worldwide, maybe one day. And Laundry Sauce, which is another brand that we incubated, literally from
which I love, by the way. I love that brand.
Name forward. And so, and then this last year we launched Spruce for Procter and Gamble, which is a outdoor weed killer. So it's been crazy. Like as an independent agency who doesn't come from a big background, going
Right.
from helping real estate agents
Right.
to working with Procter and Gamble on a regional Super Bowl commercial has been a
Right.
15-year journey. I mean,
Right.
how do you fill in the gap in between there? We can talk about that. That's
We
been
all have
our
journeys. Yes.
those have been some of our bigger moments. And you asked about, would you ask me core strength?
Yeah. Yeah. Your top three. Yeah.
Um, I would say, we are known for developing brand voice and strategy specifically for brands that are like trying to break through.
Right.
Um, and we work with a lot of brands that would be like considered challenger or insurgent. I know Bain and Company came out their list and we saw 10 of our brands on there, and I was like, that makes sense. That's who seeks us out, right? Like
Hmm.
we're not being asked to make boring cookie cutter ads, and I'm grateful for that. And so that is what we are known for. It's a strength of ours. And then we also do a lot of production ourselves. I know every agency has a different model, but we have 5 studio spaces. Is it 5? Yeah, about 5 studio spaces, 20,000 square feet here in San Diego,
Hmm.
and we do everything from UGC to Super Bowl ads. And we have 5 in-house directors, and we
Wow.
work with freelance directors as well. So we do a lot of, like, I would say, integrated campaigns, from thinking, creating the actual campaign to actually
Right.
executing it. And I didn't even know that that was unique because we've been living in our own bubble. And Doug, I am
It's
so excited to get
intuitive. I
connected
mean,
to you, because I'm like, man, it's a big world. I
yeah.
didn't even know that we were an indie agency until someone's like, you should connect with an indie. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, we're not owned by anybody else. Okay, good to know. So here we are. I'm eager to learn from you, Doug.
Oh, God help you. But let's talk about independence. Why
Mhm.
is being independent important for you? And obviously, you've been this way and I will say this, that there is a great benefit of, um, I don't want to say obliviousness, because that's not the right word, but being able to focus on your thing and not and you didn't even realize that there was noise to block out,
Yes.
which is a great trait. But now that you're seeing, like, oh, this is what's happening, what are you learning about the importance of being independent?
Mm. So I have a mentor. His
Hmm.
name's Rob Strasberg. He actually came from, I
Where did
guess,
he come from?
Rob was with CPB for like a decade, and
That's right.
then he was
Okay,
with
that's
Donor.
where I knew
Yeah,
the
yeah.
name.
So
Okay.
Rob is a close mentor and advisor of ours, and part of that, right, is that there's, like, think of it this way: there are the things that we know we don't know, the things
Hmm.
we um, know, and then there's the things we don't even know that we don't know.
Right.
And I'm in a season of learning about the things that I didn't even know that we didn't know, right?
Right. Right.
And because of that, when you ask, like, why is it important to me that we are an independent agency? I did have to ask myself that question, right? Especially when we started growing, we started getting it. It's like we did start getting people that were asking, oh, like, are you guys open to selling the agency or taking
Sure.
investment?
Sure.
And the answer was no. And I think, again, a big reasons for us internally. I have a business partner, Adam Wagner, and it's like we love what we do. We love that we're not trying to hit some sort of arbitrary margin or profit margin. I mean, having profit margins are important for the health of the business,
Sure.
but I would imagine we probably have 20 to 25% more brain power and people in a campaign than you could do if you were trying to just
Mm,
manage dollars and cents. We only have one goal, which is to see success for our clients and
right.
to grow their businesses. And that's what we've really been known for, is making campaigns that grow businesses. We haven't been known, we have won, like, we've won lots and lots of awards, but we haven't even applied for things like a can, like,
Hmm.
we haven't been in the that hasn't been a game that we were interested, or even honestly, like, we didn't see how that would benefit us and our clients or anything else.
Right.
I think as we've matured, I've realized that, there is a world that we are now butting up into, where it's like, yeah, like, winning some of these awards are really, like, they're not only they're really nice, I think they're great reflections back to the clients that they're doing great work. It's important for
Yeah.
their career too. There's more than just sales. And I know that sounds crazy, but at some point it does
Yeah.
become arbitrary. Do we grow sales by 10% or 20%?
Right.
Okay, both of those are great, and I want 20. But if you win a can too, that helps, right? Like you
Yeah.
want people to respect the work.
So
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 I'm in the process of learning.
learning all
I
this
have
stuff.
I,
Yeah.
so actually, Doug, can I ask you a
Oh
question back?
God, here we go. No,
I
go
know,
ahead, please.
I know. My question back would be, what are the top answers to that question? Why are people proud to be an independent agency? What do you get more and more? I've only heard 2 or 3 of these particular
Yeah, I
interviews,
mean,
and I'm curious.
well, it's that thing of you know, belief. Here's what's interesting is some of it comes down to this belief that, it's like I don't like the way things are being done here at XYZ agency.
Mhm.
Therefore, I think I'm going to go do my own thing. And that's part of it. Part of it is frustration. Part
Mhm.
of it is into and here's what's interesting about you and the agency is that you've been very intuitive from the beginning, and that part is vastly undervalued and underrated, because does this feel right for the client? Does this feel right for us? So I think when
Right.
you're independent, you can move on that, because you have to balance a couple of things. And nothing is homogenized and nothing is the same for every agency, where number one, your priority is your client, yes,
Right.
but at the same time, a very close 1A is your talent. And so being able to it's interesting because the original conversation around independence has been, well, we can move faster. Any agency can claim that, holding company included. Um, there's, no layers. I'm like, yeah, no, I get that. So the things that I've noticed that are probably the most important continuation of that story is, number one, you will more likely than not, as in like 99.9%, be working with senior people. So it's not like you're the
Mhm.
pitch team and then
Mhm.
you come in and there's Yelnick McWawa, your junior designer who you've never met before.
Right.
Um, Media especially, but also in general, indies can be more agnostic because they don't necessarily have, again, as a general rule, relationships with media platforms, et cetera, et cetera. So it's always in the best interest for the client. Someone told me fairly recently, I was at a holding company saying I was tired of working for a math company. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
That
Um,
there you go. I
yeah,
I I think that right there, that phrase is what I imagine it can turn into.
that's exactly right. And the third piece is creative ambition. So when you're
Mm.
at a holding company or at a big company, you might, and again, might, I'm not saying it's everywhere, but you might have layers that can protect you a little bit, but also that breeds mediocrity. When
Mhm.
you're independent, and again, I'm not saying holding companies don't take care of their clients. They do. But the stakes are a bit higher for an independent agency. Therefore, what I see is more ambition, whether it's creative ambition, strategic ambition, because it's like we know we need to make this work harder, and
Yes,
so and
we
so
always
that
talk about that.
yeah, and
It's
so
like if
that's
we're
the
going up
difference.
against somebody with 10
Yeah.
times the budget, then we have to hit 10 times harder, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
there's a different, because one of the things that one of the issue or conversations that come up is, well, we're scrappy. I'm like, yeah, you know what though? I worked at the Martin agency and I worked with some producers. Holy shit, they were amazing. Like
right.
scrappy, it's like you can't really claim that, but ambition you can claim,
Mhm.
I think, to some degree. Now,
And I
there's
will say
exceptions,
yeah,
but yeah, that's what I would say.
and I think
Um,
what's considered scrappy is incredibly subjective.
it's so subjective.
I
I
mean,
mean,
for
yeah.
some people, I kid you not, there are people who ask us about a production and they go, "How could it possibly be that expensive?" And you have other people being like,
Oh,
"It's
right,
so cheap.
right,
What's wrong with you?"
right,
Like,
right, right.
there is no that's
Yeah.
my biggest thing 15 years in is like, there is no sense of,
No, I know. Oh,
what's
you should
scrappy.
be trying
That's
to,
completely up to
yeah, try pricing a membership for a visibility platform. Um, Let's get back to this interview. I don't want to make this
Yeah.
about me. What's
You're
the
good.
main reason a brand should work with you? What is, if you could distill it down into one main reason, what would that be?
One main reason. Man, that's a good question.
Or
Well,
and
I
or
have an answer for
you
that.
have an answer?
I have an
Okay.
answer for that.
Hit
I have
me.
an answer for that.
All
I
right.
think, okay, earlier you talked about instinct and the role of that, and we've jokingly said it's naivety dynamically applied, which is stolen from some book. I should know which book, but it's like, it's fair because I think the hardest part about doing things is finding those insights that actually drive purchase, not just
Mm,
drive attention, right? And so, what our big breakthrough, and I'm fine at this point, I'm fine sharing it because it's hard to do, but it's real, and it's why we were able to make these ads that scale to hundreds of millions of views on YouTube, and stuff like some of our Dr. Squatch work, native work
right.
has hundreds of millions of views. It's insane to see people respond and watch commercials willingly, right? Like they
Right.
want to watch them. Is we try to focus. Our big thing is like what everyone has their own why as a customer, and I think that brand. I could spend a whole podcast talking about this, but like the reality is that for the longest time, brands had their why. This is like a Simon Sinek
Right.
thing, and because of the way like media was just disseminated, it was just sort of like forced out on people. It's like there was
Hmm.
only 10 TV stations and there was no internet and there was whatever. Now it's like consumers are the center of their own universe. They always have
Hmm.
been, but they really are now. And so we have to understand their why as a consumer and then create advertising that connects with their why. And
Right.
when we do that, they see themselves in that brand, that product very, very quickly. And so I think if I were to boil it down, the more I pay attention, I feel like most insights are actually observations
Hmm.
and not based on a deeper, like emotional we call it like self-expressive benefit of like
Right. Right.
everything we buy, right, is a reflection of who we believe we are or who we believe we're trying to become.
Right.
Everything. And so like when we build our campaigns, that's our North Star. And
Hmm.
it's not to win awards. It's not to do anything more than like when you see it, I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna consider buying. I'm going to potentially buy. And if we can do that, that's why we've been successful so far. And I feel like we're onto something in that.
Right.
Like because I
Right.
think media is super fractured, where you have to win is fractured. And so you just have to be really focused. And so
Right.
that's me preaching something I'm passionate about. I don't
Well, yeah.
know if it resonates, but I'm
No,
very
of course it
passionate
does.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to talent. Why should talent, whether they are full time or freelance, be putting Raindrop on their list?
Well, that's a good question. I can only answer that through the feedback that we get,
Sure.
from people. I think, you know, we're fortunate that because of the work we're known for, we attract clients who tend to want to do things that you kind of mentioned it earlier. Like they want to punch harder. They want to
Hmm.
take like I think brands go through this evolution where they're willing to take risks, and then all of a sudden they get to a point where like they have too much to lose, and they're like, I don't want to
Yeah.
take any risks, right? And the problem is that most of those brands, as they get into the billions and billions, like they have more to lose, and so therefore things can all your best ideas, that feeling, and you're like, this is the thing that would make it good. This is the thing that would make it great. And they're like, we can't do
Right.
that because who might it upset? Who might it, and I get it, right? Like it's tough. Again, a whole nother podcast could be on just ideas that didn't quite make it for everyone, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
every agency
Exactly.
in the world.
Right. Right.
But I think I do feel really, really, really grateful and blessed that we get to do the work we do, partner with the people we get to partner with. And, because we're not a hold code to your point, like we get to, or a non-independent agency, we do get to
Right.
choose to an extent who we work with. Um,
And I bet they like
and,
coming to San Diego.
it's not bad, right? It's not bad place to be. So yeah, I would say those are the main, it's that creative opportunity.
Right.
I think that people chase and want, and I'm grateful what we at least have for now. I don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Would you consider yourselves weirdos, misfits, or underdogs? And why? And you can't say all three. You have to have one that you over index for, corporate speaking.
Okay, okay. I love that you cut off the obvious answer. It's like asking, like, so what's your greatest weakness, and you can't say like
Oh,
you're
I have
too
a whole
perfect.
rant on that.
Um, let's see, weirdos, misfits, or underdogs. Oh, damn! But can I choose two?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
you can choose two.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can choose two. I would put us on the misfits, underdogs.
I think
List.
that tracks. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like if I
yeah.
were, because I'm like, I can't put us squarely in one. I don't think that's fair. I said it earlier, but it's like it's pretty amazing that our CD has been with us for years and years and years. I mean, I'm 8, 9 years. He started as like a associate brand manager for us, right? Like
Mhm.
Andrew Catania, incredible. All of our ACDs come from other backgrounds. They were
Mm,
full-time comedians, they were show writers, they were podcast hosts, like things that like don't necessarily make sense until you realize that they all understand attention and people and the pulse of people in a way that
mhm,
most people have never lived. And then I would say underdog because we find ourselves more and more in worlds where we're butting up against the way that these larger brands have always done things, have been
mm.
taught to do things, and they're open to our thoughts and ways of doing
Sure.
things, but like they're like, wow, like, okay, we we hired you for a reason, but now you're doing the thing that we said that we wanted, and now we're like, okay, well, that's a cool idea, let's see if we can qualify that idea, or let's see if we can
Right,
test that before we go that big or whatever.
right, right, right.
But to their credit, almost all of our partners on that side have been great. So yeah, I would say misfits and underdogs.
Yeah,
I'm sure someone would call us weird, but I don't consider us
that
weird.
doesn't that no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last question, and then we're gonna get to a very brief restaurant review,
Okay.
food review. Whether they're a current client or not, which CMO or marketer would you like to say hello to?
Oh my gosh. Shoot. Okay. I can't choose a current one because that just gets weird. It's like, who's your favorite? I'm like, I don't know. Like, and then there's people that
Who's your
you.
favorite child? Depends on the
Oh my
day.
gosh.
Right.
I, you know. Okay. Uh, Honest answer from the gut. I would say this is gonna be crazy, but I think these are brands that like our team already has thoughts and ideas internally around and have
Mhm.
like literally joked about, like, oh my gosh, it'd be a dream. Canada Dry, Squirt, and El Pollo Loco. Um,
Oh, Squirt, forget it.
oh my
Oh my
gosh, what do you
god.
mean forget it? You have
No,
is
I
this like
mean I
your
mean that in a
pineapple
good way.
pizza
That's
thing?
that's the Italian side. That's a good thing. That's
Oh
a
my
good
gosh,
thing.
we
Yeah.
have ideas for
Love
Squirt
Squirt.
that if someone can get me in touch with Squirt, I I will give them the freshest ideas that they've seen in centuries. Um, not from me, but because our team is we have
Right.
some Squirt fans here.
Oh my
Um,
god, so
I
good.
also before we go that I do need to shout out. You know, we wouldn't be on this call without a guy named Trey Harness. He works.
Mhm,
He leads Curiosity, and it's like it's him and I. We met because we actually like we have some clients in common.
mhm,
I respect his work a ton, and it's just like a great example of like, man, in what world is someone gracious enough to say, hey, you're not getting your name out there yet. You need to start doing
mhm.
that. Let me introduce you to Doug, right? And I mean, it's like his kindness is something that like I hope to pay forward. I really
Oh, you will.
appreciate that.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. I get that.
yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
he's great. That whole Curiosity team's great. Um, all right, so, we we were in San Diego in December. It was El Tacos Gordo downtown.
Yes, very popular.
Oh, so good. Okay, but here's the thing, Tijuana style tacos, I like, if you've never done that,
If you're listening to this and you can't see Doug's hands, they're in
oh
the
my
air
god. Well,
in
no, this is all
surrender
video anyway.
to the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we will make this audio at some point. Um, uh, uh, my son and I were like, "What is this?" We had the carne asada. We are just
Yeah.
staring at each other. Just
Yeah.
it's that thing of when you eat something so good, you just freeze. You don't say
Yeah.
anything. You just
Yep.
nod your head. All right, so
Mhm.
give us some more suggestions because Mexican food down there, next level.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. Here's what I'll say. you know, I like the feeling in my soul right now is I'm so happy that you had that experience, and I want you to know that like you may not have a better experience, but you can have a different experience.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah,
El Tacos Gordo is yeah, it would be like
it's
one of my favorites.
classic. It's
The
like it's
2
like it's like the
yeah,
it's like the voodoo donuts of, you know, it's
yep,
like when you come to
yep,
Portland, you go do that, right?
yep. So the 2 others that, like, I would bring people to and do bring people to would be Old Town Cafe Coyote. They make their tortillas I said it wrong, tortillas, that's how
Right.
they say it, you know, at the restaurant.
Correct.
Um, they have people making them fresh right there in the street. You can actually buy them off the street, but, like, they do a great job, and it's in Old Town, which is just, like, a really
Yeah.
cool environment,
Yeah.
you know, large portions, huge margaritas if you're into that kind of thing, and then the other place that we go that's a nuanced spin on Mexican is called Puesto. And they do these like so it's like how do I put it? It's like almost call it like a fusion type of thing, but like
Right. Yeah. No, I get
it
it.
they put big chunks of cheese in their guacamole, like
What?
parmesan. Yeah, and it's like
But
it
I'm
sounds
sure it's
weird.
banging. I'm sure it's
Oh
just off
man,
the chain.
if you're not lactose intolerant, you need to get to.
Mhm.
That's you know what I'm saying. Even if you are, like I don't know, get some
Yeah.
lactate. It's worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so those are good. Yeah, and I don't remember the place offhand, but there was this place we went to in Salinas up north. So
I'm
when
not
you're
familiar with the North County,
when you
uh,
no, when you go
taco
way
scene.
north, like Stockton, like up that
Oh,
way, Northern
yeah,
Cal, like
Salinas as in,
the
like, I was thinking
central north.
you're like,
Yeah,
Salinas, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Where's Salinas
yeah, it's
in
way
San
up there.
Diego?" You're talking
The
about Northern California.
right, the greatest some of the greatest Mexican food I had was up there too, and it was,
Yeah,
because you are very close to where the food is coming from, and
right,
I've never had a better artichoke in my life than
yeah,
the one I had at this restaurant, this Mexican restaurant in Salinas. So, you know, explore. That's the thing is definitely explore.
amen.
And San Diego is a wonderful place to explore. And congratulations on all the success. And as the Carpenters once said, you've only just begun. It's a little
Well,
riff
thank
off
you.
of yeah.
I'm
So
counting on you to help me make new friends this year,
we'll
so
make you some
I'll,
friends. We'll make you
so,
some
you know,
friends. Yeah.
I wanna get to know some people. Say
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah.
If you watch 27 minutes of this, God bless you, and say hi.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, seriously, appreciate you being a member and best wishes. Keep on keeping on.
Thanks, Doug.